excited to announce my latest release for the Smoke Sessions label, Steve Davis Meets Hank Jones, featuring Peter Washington on bass. Some of the tracks are the three of us playing trio, and some of the tracks are duets with the late great maestro Hank Jones. I first met Hank Jones, I guess it was about 20 years ago, and this is volume 1 on the Smoke Sessions label. Steve Davis Meets Hank Jones, featuring Peter Washington on bass. It was such a thrill to form a friendship with Mr. Jones. We met and rehearsed and played together, discussed repertoire. I would go by his apartment and then bring a list of tunes that we could perhaps try to play together. And Hank would immediately, of course, go through one of the songs and suggest chord progressions, and he'd run one sequence that was just amazing, and then his eyes would get bigger, and then he'd say, or perhaps you could do this, and he'd take you through another one, and then quickly his eyes would get bigger like a little kid on Christmas, and then he'd take you through a third route through the changes, and I would say, Hank, go back to the first one. It was hard to keep up with him. Even at his advanced age at that point, he was 88, 89 years old, and it was obvious that his love for the music was as great as ever. His facility on the piano was still incredible. His touch and his mind was so keen through the whole process leading up to this wonderful session in June of '08. Peter Washington and I would every now and then we'd just glance over at each other almost in disbelief, although we knew how great Hank was, of course, everybody knows that, but I think we each felt that we had to kind of pinch ourselves that we were that we had the privilege to enjoy the music together with Maestro Jones, and it was just one of the greatest afternoons of my life, musically for sure.